In the dense jungles of Southeast Asia, during the chaos of the Vietnam War, there were American soldiers whose missions were never announced, never acknowledged, and never officially recorded. If they were captured, the United States would deny knowing who they were. If they were killed, their families would receive little to no explanation. These men belonged to a unit that, on paper, did not exist at all. This was MACV-SOG, often simply called SOG, the Military Assistance Command Vietnam Studies and Observations Group, a harmless name designed to hide one of the most dangerous and secretive military units in American history. Their job was simple to say, but nearly impossible to survive. Go where no one was supposed to go, see what no one was supposed to see, and come back alive, if possible. SOG was formed in 1964, at a time when the Vietnam War was escalating and intelligence was everything. Officially, it was a research and observation group. In reality, it was a multi-service special operations force made up of the best from the Army Special Forces, Navy SEALs, Air Force, Marines, and intelligence agencies. These men were selected not just for skill, but for their ability to operate in silence. Unlike conventional units, SOG answered directly to the highest levels of command. Their missions were classified above top secret, and many were unknown even to American commanders in Vietnam. They wore unmarked uniforms, used foreign weapons, and often crossed borders that the US government publicly claimed it never crossed. One of SOG's primary roles was deep reconnaissance along the Ho Chi Minh Trail, a vast supply network running through Laos and Cambodia. These areas were officially off-limits to US forces, yet SOG teams penetrated them regularly. Small teams of Americans and indigenous fighters moved silently through enemy territory, often outnumbered hundreds to one. If discovered, there was no backup, no air support guaranteed, and no official rescue. Radio calls were short, coded, and desperate. Many missions turned into brutal running gunfights through the jungle, followed by dangerous helicopter extractions under heavy fire. Survival depended on speed, luck, and absolute trust in the man beside you. SOG teams were never made up of Americans alone. Alongside US operators fought indigenous forces, Montagnards, Nung, and other local fighters who knew the jungle better than anyone. These men were not just guides. They were elite warriors in their own right, often taking the most dangerous positions during patrols and ambushes. Trust was built not through words, but through survival. Together, they formed small teams designed for speed and silence, usually no more than a dozen men. In the jungle, rank mattered less than experience. Decisions were made in seconds, under pressure, far from any command post. In those moments, nationality disappeared. What mattered was loyalty, skill, and the shared understanding that every man's life depended on the others. What made SOG truly unique was not just what they did, but how they were treated. If a team member was captured, the US government would deny their existence entirely. They were instructed never to identify themselves as American soldiers. Some carried suicide pills, knowing capture could mean torture, propaganda, or worse. Casualty reports were often altered or hidden. Missions that went wrong were erased from official records. Even medals for bravery were delayed for years, sometimes decades, because acknowledging the action meant admitting the mission happened at all. These men fought a war where heroism was classified. One of the most haunting facts about SOG is this. Over time, the unit suffered a 100% casualty rate. Every member was wounded, killed, or medically evacuated at least once. The survival rate per mission was shockingly low, yet volunteers kept coming. They knew the risks. They went anyway. Many veterans later said SOG missions felt like controlled chaos, moments of silence followed by overwhelming violence. The jungle offered no mercy, and the enemy knew the terrain far better. Every step could trigger an ambush. Every extraction could be the last. When the Vietnam War ended, SOG was quietly dissolved in 1972. There were no parades, no public recognition, and no headlines. For years, veterans were forbidden from speaking about their service. Families often never knew the truth about what their loved ones had done. Only decades later did declassification begin to reveal fragments of their story. Even today, parts of SOG's operations remain secret. What is known is enough to confirm one thing: these men operated at the edge of warfare, where politics, secrecy, and survival collided. SOG was not a conventional unit, and this was not a conventional war. These were soldiers sent into missions designed to be denied, erased, and forgotten. They fought without recognition, without guarantees, and often without a way home. Yet they went anyway, again and again. They were the ghosts of the Vietnam War, unseen, unacknowledged, but absolutely essential. And even today, the full story of MACV-SOG remains hidden in the shadows, exactly where they operated best.